I believe that Toshi is a sleeping giant, and seeing it reach the price of 2 cents during this bull run, hypothetically speaking, wouldn't surprise me whatsoever, even though that's not financial advice. But the reason why is because, as we all know, Toshi, it's on the Base network, and Base, it's on the rise. And some people may be thinking, okay, why does this matter? It's insignificant, but I disagree. History doesn't always repeat itself, however, it does tend to rhyme. Take a look at, for instance, the Solana-based meme coins. More specifically, you take a look at Book a Meme, Dog with Hat, and also some others, right? When Solana really popped off, when it gained that mass scale attention, guess what also went along with the ride? Those meme coins. And if Base really does gain that mass attention, which all signs are indicating that, again, it is on the rise, could you imagine what happens to something like Toshi? Man, it's really going to go along with the ride as well. Now, you may be thinking, okay, Base is too bad to gain attention because it's not good enough. It's not interesting enough. But I disagree, because even though when we take a look at the Base network, it quite essentially is a layer 2, you have to take a look at the backing when it comes to the Base network. And this right here really does give a lot of people a sense of trust. Just think about how the Base network is Coinbase's layer 2 network. And it's also built in collaboration with Optimism, which is one of the leading Ethereum layer 2s. When two giants like that quite essentially create something, it's going to be a very bad look if the thing fails for whatever reason. And I don't think they're going to allow for that to happen. Other layer 2s out there, or just other projects in general, if the times are kind of tough, they don't have the stamina, and also they don't have the resources to keep going because they don't have that real deal backing in most cases. However, if you take a look at the Base network, you take a look at Coinbase, you take a look at Optimism, I highly doubt it's ever going to fail. Now, statistically speaking, it's pretty much impossible, in my opinion, to have a probability of never failing, of course. However, I think if something is almost fail-proof, this is pretty much as close as it gets, in my opinion at least. Because again, Coinbase, I don't see it going down anytime soon. Also Optimism, but more specifically, again, Coinbase. So if they have a layer 2, I'm going to believe in that. And if you take a look at a layer 2 at its core, the use case isn't bad, because we know that Ethereum is very popular, it's very famous, but it, of course, has some drawbacks like high gas fees, and also often scalability is reported as a major concern. So, of course, these layer 2s, they can allow for Ethereum to quite essentially be enjoyed, but then not having to deal with all of the disadvantages I mentioned before. So again, a layer 2, there's going to be a place for them moving forward. Now, granted, the Base network isn't the only layer 2 out there. Of course, there's many like Arbitrum, you take a look at Immutable, you take a look at Myria, but again, this has the Coinbase association in a sense. If you think about it again, because it is Coinbase's layer 2. So when people take a look at this, they're going to care. Think about Ripple and XRP. I have some friends out there who solely believe in XRP just simply due to the fact that Brad Garlinghouse is leading Ripple. And again, that is true in some cases, which is kind of shocking to see, because sometimes it's like that's the only thing they care about. But again, that is sometimes the criteria that people look for. So if there are those types that look for leadership, that look for a strong backing, if they take a look at the Base network, I think they're going to say, wow, this is very amazing. Because let's face it, Brad Garlinghouse, as amazing as he is, he's not as powerful in terms of the backing and the experience, I would say, as like something like Coinbase, which actually has a team, which actually has, the expertise, the know-how. Take a look at Brian Armstrong, the co-founder of Coinbase. So again, this is just a different level. So when I take a look at Base, I do believe it's going to be a massive narrative. Now, while we're at the topic of Brian Armstrong, keep in mind, Toshi is actually named after his cat. Again, Brian Armstrong's cat. So again, you see the association here. Toshi, the name is also very similar to Satoshi Nakamoto. We all know that, the creator of Bitcoin, quote unquote. Allegedly, some people doubt it, but whatever, that is apparently what it is. However, even besides that, if you take a look at Toshi, it's a very unique meme coin because, again, it's not this stereotypical dog theme meme coin, which there's nothing wrong with that. I love dogs. However, we need something a little bit more interesting, a little bit more unique, and this is exactly what Toshi is. At least that's the way I view it. Now, Toshi also has somewhat of a use case. It's not the best, but it's not bad in my opinion, especially for a meme coin. Keep in mind, there is something called the Toshi Mart, which allegedly allows anyone to create their own meme coin without any technical knowledge. It's basically a meme coin launchpad. I don't really see this as being the most greatest thing of all time, but you know what? It's not bad nonetheless. Not to mention, there's Toshi Tools, which includes a multi-sender, a token locker, a liquidity locker, a token launcher, and even Launchpad too. But generally speaking, the average individual who's acquiring Toshi, at least from what I've seen, they don't really care about this, but they just talk about it nonetheless. It's just like, for instance, right? When people buy an off-road vehicle, most of the time, they're not really going to go off-road, but they just want to know that, hey, this could go off-road if need be, if that makes sense. And when it comes to Toshi, again, when people acquire meme coin, let's face it, they're just looking for something fun, exciting. They're not really caring about the use case. However, sometimes they just want to know that, hey, at least this thing has somewhat of a use case aspect, even though it's not necessary. And again, this does have that aspect when it comes to Toshi. So when I take a look at this isn't a bad meme coin by any means. It's a very unique concept. It's cool. It's interesting. It's on the right place, aka the base network. And that right there is going to be on the rise, in my opinion. It's only fair to assume that. Also, I'm very bullish on other projects on the base network. Also, like for instance, Aerodrome, which is a very amazing decentralized exchange. Of course, I'm very bullish on Brett. But if you take a look at something like the base network, of course, there's Brett, which arguably, in my opinion, is the number one meme coin currently on the base network. However, what is number two? I would say it's Toshi. So again, when people believe in the base network, they're not only just going to believe in Brett, but a lot of the attention is going to trickle down to Toshi. And again, it's relatively speaking somewhat a medium-sized meme coin. It hasn't really gained that mass-scale retail hype yet. But in my opinion, better days are ahead because Toshi is listed in many major exchanges. Even recently, it was listed on the Coinbase listing roadmap. So at least they're planning to have it on Coinbase in the future. Not to mention, Toshi is live on Crypto.com, one of the biggest exchanges out there. And I actually talked about this in a previous video. So if you think about it, Toshi has great exposure. It also has great anticipated exposure because if it were to officially get listed on Coinbase, that would be amazing right there. And of course, a meme coin needs this because during a fully fledged bull run, in order to gain that FOMO buying pressure and buying volume, it needs to have easy access. So again, I think this right here is fantastic. Now, at the price of 2 cents, keep in mind, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $8 billion. That's around a 54x from here, by the way. And keep in mind, an $8 billion market cap is way lower than Shiba Inu's all-time high market cap, which was around $40 billion. Way lower than Dogecoin, which reached over $80 billion at one point. This was back in 2021. Keep in mind, during the peak of that bull run that year, there was roughly only around 300 million crypto owners. Now, according to Crypto.com research, there's over 600 million. So could you imagine how much more FOMO, buying pressure, and buying volume this time around? Not to mention the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, the number of institutional investors, the amount of enterprise adoption. This bull run could be massive, but it's just a waiting game in my opinion. And even historically speaking, we do know that hypothetically 2025 could be a very special year. Usually altcoins, as a worst case scenario, they peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. 18 months from the last Bitcoin halving event would actually mean around October this year, because again, the last one happened in April of 2024. So I think there's better days ahead. I'm not guaranteeing that Toshi is going to peak exactly at October this year. It could happen maybe a little bit later or a little bit sooner. We just never know. But of course, I think this does give a good benchmark. And considering the trajectory of Toshi, 2 cents, I don't see why not during this bull run. I'm going to continue to accumulate, hold, and I just wait because I think better days are ahead. And this is a very special meme coin. Of course, Ethereum meme coins, they're still going to have a mainstay. Solana meme coins, of course, they're also on the rise. But again, the base network, this could be something amazing. And I'm very bullish on it. And I can't wait. 2 cents again during this bull run wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Wang Li, the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.